Hey, we are back with episode 5. Thanks again for your continuous support. Y'all rocking, I'm rolling, so let's jump on in. So, today we have a special guest. I want to introduce Candace to you all. So, we're going to go ahead and let her tell you guys a little bit about her story and how she started her great business. I don't want to spill the tea,
Oh,
so we'll
thank
pass it on
you.
over.
Thank you for having me.
Of
I really
course.
appreciate it. So my business is Candles by Candy. I'm Candace Randall Bell, and I started Candles by Candy in my home during the pandemic. I started as a form of relaxation because just everything that was going on at that time, just just not knowing what was going on, the fear of unknown, and I just needed something for just relaxation. So I love candles. I'm a
Hmm.
huge candle person. It's crazy. And I said, let me purchase a candle making kit and make my own candles. So I started making candles. My friends and family would come over and they would say, "Oh, I need that candle," or "That smells amazing," and things like that. So I thought they were lying to me at first. And then I started to do like pop up shops and farmers markets and things like that, and just hearing the reaction and response from other people who didn't strangers who didn't know me or know
Hmm.
anything about me
Hmm.
was just amazing. It kind of gave me that confidence that I needed to push myself out there. And then my husband kind of helped push me out there as well. I found a commercial space, and I wanted to teach other people how to make candles, to share that experience that helped me. I wanted to share that experience with other people. So then we started the candle making classes.
Okay, perfect. So I definitely want to ask you, how did it feel? Because I already shared with a lot of the guests or the audience how my transition was, like the fear, the doubt. How
Yes.
did you feel being in a pandemic and then coming up with this brilliant idea to, go larger and teach and have a full blown establishment?
Hmm.
Like, how did you feel? How did you adjust?
Nervous. I was really nervous at first, just not thinking it was going to fail, thinking it wasn't going to work out. But then it's when you have to have faith, and like people say, you got to trust God and believe and step out on faith, and that's just what I did. And it wasn't always easy. Like starting
Mm-hmm.
off, you have like your little bumps and in the road and things like that, some hurdles
Mm-hmm.
that you have to
Absolutely.
overcome. Especially being a new business owner,
Mm-hmm.
like when I when I leased my commercial space, my main goal was we're gonna sell candles, and candle making was gonna be like on the side,
Mm-hmm.
and that total like it
It
just
just didn't
reversed.
make.
Yeah, it's just like
Mm-hmm.
people were so interested in the candle making. They still
That you
purchase
had to.
candles too, but like the
Mm-hmm.
candle making really took off, and people just love that. And then we also do BYOB, so you can drink your wine, bring your drinks, and things like that, and
So
just make
expand
candles.
it in so many different ways.
Yes, exactly.
And this is some things that we talked about, like how you have one plan, and it just grows. It
Hmm.
grows from there. You got to keep pushing. You got to have faith
Yes.
in whatever business avenue you're gonna take. It may switch. It may change. You may have a different direction, but the end goal is being happy with what you're building. I know that my standpoint is behind the chair and how I've grown into a successful business owner. However, whatever your passion is, you have to give your all, and things will work out how they're supposed to. So, a really important factor in being a business owner is identifying when it's time for you to level up, move to the next step. We as people, we find ourselves getting very comfortable. So comfortable in where you are. You hear about, people being in the same job for 30, 40, 50 years and retiring for that one job. Well, now we're in a different generation.
Hmm.
So for me, I knew it was time when I was no longer pleased with where I was. So take it back to the steps that I took to be where I am today. I was working in someone else's salon. When that wasn't feeding me, I said, okay, I'm going to go to my home. I'm going to work out of my home, and I'm going to do my own thing. But then it got to a point where my clientele was outgrowing my space. I couldn't continue to bring strangers to my home. I couldn't advertise and market the way I wanted to. So I had to sit back. I had to, see what my clientele was, how many people I was serving, how much money I was bringing in, and then compare that to that business plan that I gave y'all tips on to create in the ebook. And once those numbers made sense, it was time for me to become uncomfortable. In business, once you're uncomfortable, you know that you're where it's supposed to
Yes,
be.
that is so true.
Um, don't be uncomfortable for too long. That means you got to switch something up. But being
Hmm.
uncomfortable is the definition of growth. So I want to ask you, Candace,
Hmm.
like, how did you identify that time for you to, leave your home, stop focusing on just family and friends and turn it into a whole new establishment?
That's an excellent question. I think mainly when doors were just opening, like our candles were featured in Busboys
Mm-hmm.
for a period of time. We were asked to come into that establishment. So like
Mm-hmm.
when doors were just opening and we were just focusing on certain, just running our online business, but God was just opening up other doors. We had like for you, we still do have our candles here.
Mm-hmm.
Other local businesses, we were bringing our candles to their, establishment and selling them there.
Mm-hmm.
We were also getting just different larger marketing, just so many people were
Platforms,
just, yeah,
yeah.
people were just reaching out here, reaching out there, and it was just things were just opportunities were just flowing,
Mm-hmm.
and I was not looking for those opportunities; they were just coming. So that kind of pushed me in
To
that
go.
direction. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, now once we were in Busboys, it was like, okay, you have to go to the next level. What's the next thing,
Mm-hmm.
after that? And it was, having our own storefront and selling our candles there. So, and each
Absolutely.
time it's like you have to keep, like you said, level up.
So now we gave y'all some insight on my transition, of course, going from working at other salons to working out of my home to now owning a salon. And, Candace has shared her journey of working in her home as well and then moving around to different businesses and now having her establishment. I do want to chime in on the financial aspect because that's the biggest part.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see how your journey was, coming from where you were to now and how that the financial money piece tied
Mm-hmm.
in.
I think one of the one thing that we did have to work out was as far as like now we went from our basement, well, I went from my basement to now a commercial space. So we have, our rent that we have to pay, and then I had to bring in, because it's a lot too, I needed help. So
Mm-hmm.
there's other things. I'm also a mom, a wife, there's other things that I had to do as well. So
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of hard. So I had to bring in a team as well. I wasn't able to pay them a lot, but hey, this is what I can afford at the moment,
Right.
and just seeing if they could work with that. I also had some volunteers who just came just to help, just put wicks and candles,
Mm-hmm.
things like that, and they weren't really looking for a whole lot. Yeah, of course, I would like buy lunch or buy things like that just for
Showing
thanking
that
them.
appreciation,
Yeah,
right?
appreciation because they didn't have to do that, and also family. So in the beginning, I didn't have a lot of money to pay out
Mm-hmm.
because I had to find out my budget,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the rent, how much the store was going to bring in and all that. So that was
Mm-hmm.
still a growth, and that still is a learning process now, to be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
because each month is different.
Mm-hmm.
Seasons are different as well. So family as well. I did have a lot of family support, so having family come in and helping with that as well.
Absolutely, and that's a big blessing, family, and that's why we say all the time we have to support our family, our friends, because we
Mm-hmm.
don't know what's going to come out of that or how much is needed. For me, I thought I had everything figured out. I had a plan. I was still working my full-time job, so I'm like, okay, my full-time job. That's what's going to cater the household, the kids, the sports, all of that. And my clientele, which I told y'all, I looked at those numbers. I knew that I could keep it afloat, do that
Mm-hmm.
overhead that I mapped out it would be. Well, God changes things, and
Mm-hmm.
God wanted me here full time. So a lot of that had to come from whatever I had saved up, and
Yeah,
draining,
savings definitely. And
saving.
you have to know your budget and stick with it. So don't try to overspend. Don't try
Absolutely,
to pay people you can't afford to pay them. Now I can afford to pay a
absolutely.
staff. At that
Mm-hmm.
time I
You
couldn't.
couldn't,
So
right?
take it slow. But like you said,
Yep.
definitely.
And even when it came to my build out, like I knew that in order for my plan to work, I had to be in an establishment that was already a salon.
Mm-hmm.
So the plumbing was already there, the
Right.
electrical was already there,
Yeah.
all the outlets I needed was already there. So it was just putting the little touches on it,
Right.
the paint, the floors, keeping it very simple.
That's the
Knowing
key, keeping it
keeping it
simple and
simple.
not trying to do more than
Yep.
your pockets cannot.
Absolutely. And knowing that my end goal, which 5 year, I'm
Yes.
looking to renovate and kind of do more. But it's essential that you have that business plan so you know what you
Yes,
can afford and what
definitely.
you can't. And that's something else I do dive into in the book. As Black business owners, one of the biggest struggles that we have is obtaining loans and what kind
Mhm.
of loans you want to go for and what you don't want to. I did trial error. I've tried things. It didn't work out. I did grants and, you know, in my ebook, which I'm so excited to share with you guys. I will share like the things that we need to look out for and how we need to educate ourselves to, not have to work so hard.
Yeah, but work smart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and digging into personal money and
Mhm.
savings to keep our business afloat. So I want to thank you, Candace, for joining us today. It was a great pleasure to hear your story. And yeah, I'm really glad to add you on to this episode.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I
Yes.
really appreciate coming and you having me here.
Mhm.
Just some insights on if you're a business owner, if you're thinking about opening a business. One thing that I definitely focus on is just being authentic,
Mhm.
being yourself. Don't try to mimic or, sometimes looking on Instagram and social media can like hype you up and make you
Yes.
want to jump out there too soon because someone
Mhm.
else is doing it. Just focus on you and just be
And what
authentic.
your passion is too.
Yes, be authentic
Absolutely.
in your passion and your purpose. I definitely
All
think
right.
that's
And
a great.
where can anyone follow you or stop by to see your candles or book an event?
Yeah, so we're located in Savage Mill, the historic Savage Mill, right where, if everyone's familiar with Terrapin Adventures or Dive Bar Restaurant, we're on the lower level of the New Eve building. We are open 7 days a week, so
Mhm.
you have all week to come book a class. We even take walk-ins as well,
Oh,
and we
nice.
also offer BYOB service, so you can also an option, I should say, so you can also bring any drink or bottle or whatever of your choice.
Mhm. And she also allows you to host events, so bridal showers,
Yes.
birthday parties, ladies'
Yes,
nights,
we
date
do
nights.
wine down Wednesdays as well, which we bring a mixologist in and we pair a drink with a candle, and those are lots of fun as well. As
It is
well.
definitely a vibe. I do want to take this opportunity to invite you out. Bring a few of your candles to our events,
Yes, I
which
would
will
love
be
that. Of course, why
yes,
not?
I
I'll be there.
so we will be hosting an event. Well, I will be hosting an event here at Beyond Royalty Beauty Bar next Monday, August 19th from 6 to 8. And it will be an ebook social. So I'll have pre-sales
Nice.
available for the book. So I will give a little discount for y'all that want to jump out and support me early. I mean, we'll talk, give other
Yeah,
business
definitely.
owners a chance to mingle and
Yes,
network and have a few appetizers, some music, a good time. So I definitely hope to see you there.
I will be there.
And stay tuned for all of the marketing and advertising I'll be putting out this week. All right. See y'all next time.